Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel, or hello if you're new here. This is my November 2020 setup video for my bullet journal, and this video was actually not done by me. The person who drew this whole setup and who came up with this whole setup was my best friend. I am actually behind the camera this time, and I love the way that it turned out. She did a classic fall theme with a fox and pumpkins and acorns and coffee and leaves, and I love it. Every year I try to do a classic fall theme just because fall is one of my favorite seasons and I love the way it always turns out. I also love giving my bullet journal to my other artistic friends because it's so interesting to see how people set up bullet journals who normally don't bullet journal. For me, I kind of have this method of how I choose a design and how I kind of make it my own and how I simplify it to my needs, and just the way I choose my colors and palettes and typography, and there's just so much that goes into it, and to have someone else who normally doesn't do it, to see that is so interesting to me. So I love giving it off to my friends. This would probably be my third, collab that I've done this year. So I was very excited to give my bullet journal off to my best friend. I kind of just handed it to her and I was like, I am not going to even see this until you're done. So I was really surprised, and I hope you really like this theme too, because it is definitely one of my favorites. So what she's doing is she's drawing a fox, and it's a very, very cute fox on the title page, and then there's going to be this circle of leaves around the fox with November at the bottom. So the colors that she's using, obviously there's orange and black. There's also going to be a lot of brown and dark green in here. So these are the four main colors that I will continue with on my weekly spreads. Another thing that my friend did was that she added a lot more, I really don't know what's the right word. I'm just gonna say cutesy items on this spread. So she drew faces. That's the thing. She drew faces on all the animals and the plants and the coffee mug. Faces is something I don't even touch. I really just don't do faces. I could have done faces on my previous monthly theme, which was mushrooms, but I really just don't do faces. It's nothing against it. That's just not my thing. So it was really nice and cute to see faces, and I wonder how I'm going to continue them throughout the weekly spreads, but I thought it was so cute that she drew little cartoony faces on all of the things. So again, there's that dark green I talked about. That is going to be probably the most used color going forward. Another thing that I wanted to point out is that, again, I said my best friend is not an avid bullet journaler, so she kind of just did typography that she really likes. So there's a little bit of calligraphy, there is a little bit of monospace lettering, a little bit of all caps, and what I ended up choosing was just the all caps because my October spread is all lowercase letters, so I thought I would just do the opposite here. So that is what I'm going to continue forward the most. It's the title lettering at the very bottom. This spread and this theme in general has a lot going on, as in there's the whole page is kind of full of elements, and there's a lot of color. There's a lot of just things on the page overall, and you'll get a idea of what I mean when you see the final photos. So I think I've mentioned this in previous videos, but I kind of like to alternate when it comes to like the quantity of things I like to put on my page or how full I like my pages. So typically I will do a month of a more simpler, more white space kind of theme. So that was last month because it really was just mushrooms. And there was definitely a lot of white space both on the title spread and in the following weekly spreads. So this month is the opposite, and the space is just a lot more filled up with things, which I also really like. So that is probably what you'll be seeing in the following weekly spreads. This is the quote of this month. There is bravery in being soft, and it is such a cute quote, and I think it goes so perfectly well with the cute animals and faces that my friend is going to draw. So as you can see, there's a pear and there's a pumpkin, and they both have very cute faces. And now we're doing some coffee. We're doing a little coffee mug. This coffee is very different from my January spread. If you remember, that was an all coffee themed spread. So I will probably be alternating in the weekly spreads with all the different elements that are included here, because there's acorns, there's pumpkins, there's coffee, there's pears, there's foxes, and there's a bunch of other things too. So I will probably be choosing one major thing and continuing that in each spread. So moving on to the monthly calendar spread. Again, she's using a different typography here. She's using like block letters, and I find it so interesting that for me, I am very focused on continuing one thing throughout the month, right? So one month is going to be mostly calligraphy, or one month is going to be mostly all lowercase letters or something of that sort. And I find it so interesting that people who don't bullet journal avidly or regularly, they don't, it's so different, the perspective, and I enjoy that. I enjoy that refreshing mix of having someone who doesn't bullet journal very often do it for me. And because my best friend, she is very artistic, very creative, and is amazing at art, and to see her skills that she uses for painting and watercoloring in general be applied here, it's very interesting. I like the way how she kind of did this like layered to-do list checkbox, and that is something I might just continue going forward. It's another way to add an extra pop of color, and I appreciate that. So those bottom few boxes are the boxes in November that are not part of November if November ends on a Monday, I believe. So just adding that extra color in there. On the side space that we have, we're going to add leaves and other little cute elements that were on the front, kind of just have them falling there. And that is about it. The spread did take me longer, but it was so beautiful to see this end result. There it is. That is the finished spread. And thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you really like this theme. Please subscribe and like this video. Thank you.